back to my channel. Today's video is gonna be a story time. Get ready with me. If you want to see what I'm telling in the story, then continue watching. Today's story is about when I was in 9th grade. This was 9th grade, yeah. It's 2016, about to be the end of the school year. The story takes place at a 7-Eleven in the middle of the night. This night, I was at a country club type thing with my grandma at first, and ended up leaving with my uncle. Keep in mind, my uncle was really drunk, drunk. Just keep that in mind. So we had left the country club place, and we ended up going to somebody's apartment, and I don't know why, that's really not relevant, but we ended up going to an apartment. So after a few, maybe an hour or so, I was sitting at that apartment. We finally had left. I was thirsty and hungry. It was maybe around 1 in the morning. I think it was on a Thursday. The next day was a Friday. It was maybe 1 in the morning. And really the only place that was open was 7-Eleven. So we went there and I was thirsty, hungry. My uncle kept talking about he wanted another beer. So that's really why we went there in the first place, because he wanted another beer. So we ended up pulling into 7-Eleven, and we ended up pulling up next to this car, and I don't know what kind of car it was. It was a small car. I didn't think anything of it, but when we pulled up next to this car, there was this black guy in it and this white guy in it, and I mean, it didn't bother me at first. Nothing really was happening at first, but when we were getting out, I noticed that they just kept staring at me, and I was just like, what the hell, why do they keep staring at me? And it bothered me, so I told my aunt. I told her, and she really didn't. She just said, just don't worry about it, don't pay attention to it. And my uncle, he was drunk, so I didn't think he was going to do anything about it, so I mean, didn't really tell him anything. We ended up going inside to get drinks and food and etc. and stuff like that. As we were getting out of the car, I paid attention, made sure to get out on the other side of the car, the right side, so I wouldn't get out where they were sitting. They threw me out, and I didn't want to get out near them. And so we ended up going inside, and as I was walking in, they just kept watching me. That really, it made me mad. It was making me upset. They just wouldn't stop looking at me, and I was just I don't understand why they keep staring. It's one thing if you just glance at me for a second. It's another thing if you just keep staring at me nonstop. You don't need to stare at me. We went inside, everything was cool. We paid for our drinks and stuff. We ended up coming out, and of course, as we were walking out there, still continued to stare. At this point, I was really mad. I was like, what the fuck? Why do they keep staring? It's getting to the point where it's just creepy, because you're just watch me as I walk out the door, I guess. Just that's weird. Why would you do that? When I get in the car, I'm just so mad. At one point, I'm just kind of yelling at them through the glass, which I don't recommend doing that. It's two weird guys just staring at you, or in any situation, don't yell at them through the glass. So, I started yelling at them through the glass, saying, what the fuck? Why do you keep staring at me? That didn't go so well, because as I did that, my uncle decided to get out of the car, proceeds to open the door, get out of the car, and turn to them, because their window was open, turn to them and ask them, why do you keep staring at my niece? What the fuck is the problem? Why do you keep staring at my niece? It just went all, downhill from there. Literally, it went downhill from there. Because as soon as he stood up and said, why do you keep looking at my niece? They both hopped out of their car, ran over to him. As they were running over to him, my aunt was pulling my uncle back into the car. And our windows were closed, so it wasn't they could reach in the car or anything. As soon as she pulled him back in the car, what did they do? Or what did one of them do? The black guy proceeds to punch the window and shatter the glass. I was in a state of shock where I was just what is going on? I'm going to die tonight. What is happening? So my aunt, she just swerving out of there, pulling out so fast, and I'm just in the back still just shocked, and we're pulling out, and she's cussing at my uncle, telling him, like, what the fuck, what is wrong with you? Why would you do that? Like, she was shocked, too. She didn't really know what to say. We were all just shocked in the car. My uncle just being the dumb fuck that he is, drunk. didn't really know what to say either because he's drunk, so he doesn't know what to say. As we're pulling off and speeding off, my aunt's cussing at my uncle, asking him why he did that. We see them hop in their car, and I'm thinking in my head, they're proceeding to chase us and, I don't know, attack us. We're rushing down the road, really. From where 7-Eleven was, it's like maybe like a 2-minute drive to my grandma's house. We pull up there. I'm fine at first. I'm not crying. I'm just in a state of shock where I'm just like, I cannot cry right now. Like, I'm not crying until I know I'm safe. Like, you know what I mean? Like, can't cry until you know you're safe. So finally, pull up to my grandma's house. I'm safe. We basically rushed to the doors, like, bang on the door because it was locked. My grandma was asleep. She answered the door. She was like, what's wrong? What's wrong? I'm just like, and still in shock. But then I finally just start bawling. I'm just like, this guy punched the glass. I'm like shaking. This guy punched the glass. Uncle Leslie asked him why he kept staring at me. And I guess he got mad and he punched the glass and we thought they were chasing us and blah, blah, blah. I was afraid for my life. Okay. Afraid for my life. For a while, we were just sitting inside just like thinking that they were looking for us. Like, because we did not live far from 7-Eleven. And the place where we lived was like the main place where everyone lived. We just thought they were looking for us. So my parents weren't with me. I was with my uncle and aunt, clearly. I told you guys that. After all this happened, when I got to my grandma's house. Hello. Hi. Oh my god. No, let me show them who Hunter is. You wanna be in my YouTube video? Alright, this is Hunter, okay? This is the one that likes to talk about nipples and shit.
Add me on the snap, man. Hunter_69.
After the whole ordeal went down, I mean, I was fine. I didn't realize, because I was wearing furry slides, because this was when furry slides had just become popular. I looked down at my foot. There was a cut on my foot. There was from the glass that had been punched in. Cut myself. And I didn't realize that until after all this happened. I was just like, okay, wow. I actually got hurt. That's great. I mean, I thought we were gonna at least call, like, police or something, but we didn't end up calling anybody. That was that. Ended up going to bed. The next day, I woke up. I didn't go to school. I guess in my mind, in my head, I was too traumatized to go to school. And also back then, I hated that school. If you guys want to story time on that school was really racist. I really hated that school. So honestly, I probably didn't want to go to school anyways. The next day, we told my uncle what happened because he was drunk and he didn't realize, he was, you know, sober enough to really remember what happened. So we told him what happened and he was just like, oh my god, that's crazy, that type of thing. To the window didn't get fixed for a little bit, actually. My uncle should have paid for it, but he never paid for it. After a while, I really didn't like going to 7-Elevens anymore because they scared me. After a while, we didn't really hear much anymore about like what had happened. And that was fine with me because I really didn't care. I just knew that I didn't want to go to 7-Elevens anymore in the middle of the fucking night. I didn't go into 7-Elevens. I had no intention of going into 7-Elevens. My uncle and aunt, they continued to go into 7-Eleven. Also, like, the crazy thing is, my uncle went inside, like, because I told you that they continued to go there. My uncle, I guess, went inside and asked if they had footage or if they had cameras angled at where we were sitting at. I don't remember if they said they didn't or if they said the cameras are off. They said something like that. My uncle was mad because it's like, what? I'm pretty sure, yeah, they were off. How are you gonna have cameras but have them off? Unless it was a setup. Literally, the craziest, like, wildest, craziest part about this story is that the lady that rung us up was the short little white dude's wife. Like, I'm honestly pretty sure, and honestly 100% positive that's why she didn't want to tell us, because that was her man's. So, because of course she wasn't gonna snitch on her own man. The moral of the story is, don't go to 7-Eleven in the middle of the night, because some strange, fucked up shit can happen. I advise you not to go. So, if you guys like this video and want to have more story times by me, let me know. I'll do that for you guys. I'll do that for you guys. That'll be definitely fun. If you want to see more videos by me, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, add me on Snapchat, follow me on Twitter, all that type of stuff. And I guess I'll see you in my next video. Bye! By the way, this is the end look. Do you like it? I mean, I don't know. I'm sorry. I keep looking at the screen with the camera. Sorry. Do you like it? I like it. Yeah. This is really what I do every day too, by the way, so yeah.